Higgsfield just put 14 new AI tools inside of Photoshop. And as a photographer, most of these are aimed right at my workflow. We've got background removal, expand, relight, upscale, you name it. The problem is I already do all of that inside Photoshop. So are these actually better, or are they completely worthless? I tested every one to save you credits and find out myself. Higgsfield is sponsoring this video, but I only do real tests. I don't do advertisements. So I'm gonna show you all of the good and all of the bad. First, let's go over the tools that I would actually use as a photographer, starting with Decompose and background removal. Decompose is supposed to break your image up automatically into different layers so that you can adjust each layer individually. So to test this out, I've got this selfie of my wife and I. If I were to manually create masks, I'd probably make a mask for us, one of the sky, one of the water, and maybe one of the mountains back there. Let's see what Higgsfield does. I'll just drag and drop this image into the Decompose tool, and after a minute or so, we've got our layers. And it's just given us myself, my wife, and the background. That's a little bit disappointing. One thing that is interesting here though is that it's actually made a new layer for the background and filled in where we were. So there's not just a human-shaped hole in the image. But this background replacement isn't great. I mean, you can see some artifacting here on the mountain, and the sand doesn't match at all down here on the beach. The layers for my wife and I are pretty terrible too. I mean, these edges aren't clean at all. If you contrast that with Adobe's built-in subject removal tool, which works faster by the way, the masking results aren't even close. Adobe is way cleaner. The straight up background removal tool from Higgsfield was a little bit better than the Decompose tool, but it still had much fuzzier masking lines and gave me this like halo around my head, which makes Adobe the undeniable winner here. What about image expansion? I've got this airplane shot that isn't quite 16 by 9. I'd like to remove these black bars on the side without cropping in on the image. The Photoshop built-in way to do this is to select the image, invert the selection to cover the black bars, expand it about 10 pixels, and then use Adobe Firefly for Generative Expand. The results we get from this look pretty flawless full size, but when we zoom in, you can see that there's a bit of a resolution fall off where it switches to the generated image, and there is some blurring right up here by the fence. And what I want to see is with Higgsfield, do they have a perfect blend with no visible line where it transitions over? I'll open up Expand, drag and drop my Photoshop layer, and then select 16 by 9 and give it a go. This took less clicks than the Photoshop way, but it did have a longer generation time, so overall, they're about equal in terms of speed. The first thing that I'm noticing with this image is that it changed the color grade a lot. The generation is much warmer. Honestly, I kind of think that it looks better than mine, but that's not what's important. What's important is that it changed it, and I don't know many photographers who would be a fan of that. But let's look at the edges. Well, there's no discernible transition line at the edges, which is nice. But here's the thing, we lost resolution. Look at the text on the tail of the plane here. This is the original, and this is expanded. Here's the original again, and expanded. We also lost some details on the plane. Watch this red line around the emergency hatch. It totally disappears, along with some other small textures and details on the generated image. It's hard to tell from further away, but it sucks to lose these little touches of realism. What's happening is Higgsfield uses some model to regenerate the entire image, which gives you a much smoother expansion, but it messes with your source picture as well. Adobe Expand wasn't quite as clean, but at least we didn't lose any resolution or detail on our original image. Now for relighting. Relighting is possible with traditional software, but it requires a ton of masking and brushing. If Higgsfield's AI Relight tool works well, then it would save me a ton of time. For this image, my wife and I were in the shade, and it was super bright behind us, so the lighting is just a mess. Let me drag and drop this into the Relight tool, and I'll adjust the light to be kind of upper right, because you can tell from the shadows in the back that that's like where the sun was. And we'll set brightness at 70%, we'll just give that a shot. And we definitely want soft light. This generation took a lot longer, around like 5 to 6 minutes, but I think that the result actually looks pretty good. It's a little hot or bright on the upper right, but this is something that I could easily just dial back in settings and run the generation again. The only other problem with this relit image is, again, we've lost some resolution and detail. My face looks a little softer, but when you look at the background, you can really see that we lost a lot of texture back there. I think that this looks fine for social media posting or maybe like a little printed picture, but for serious photography work, I am not sure that the ease of automatic relighting nothing is worth the detail loss. Speaking of detail though, real quick, let's try out the skin enhancer and then test upscaling. For the skin enhancer, I've got this headshot. I mean, my skin was actually pretty clear here, but there were some marks like here and there, and obviously you can see all of my pores and stuff, which I guess some people don't like. So let's try this out. I'll go with soft skin and hit enhance. This definitely smoothed out my skin, but it does look like it just kind of put a smoothing filter over the entire image. We lost a lot of sharpness and detail everywhere, not just my skin. Look at the headphone here, and you can see this really obviously on my eye as well. It's just way softer now. Okay, on to upscale. For upscale, we're back in Samoa. This image was taken on my GoPro, so when you zoom in, it gets pretty fuzzy. Let's see if Higgsfield can sharpen this up. Okay, well, it's not letting me for some reason. Am I doing something wrong? What if I start a new project? Nope. What about a different image? Nope, I guess Topaz is like just down or something? I don't know, sorry guys. Let's move on to more creative tools, starting with angles. This tool is supposed to allow you to reframe any image from any angle. Imagine that based on the name. Let's try moving the camera to the front end of the plane here. This is pretty bad. I mean, it looks like a low poly PS4 game render. Everything is so smooth, and don't even get me started on the wing and text and lighting. You can also turn images into full storyboards here, and for this I want a new image, so we can create one right inside the plugin here. Now let's turn this surfer image into a full storyboard for this scene. Now this looks very cool, and it works well, just as well as it did on their website. Personally, I don't see the need for this to be integrated into Photoshop though. Are directors and storyboard artists using Photoshop? I mean, I don't think so, but I could be wrong. The same thing goes for the AI stylist. I tested this out a long time ago on their website, and it seems like such a weird fit for a Photoshop plugin. Now let's try the face swap feature, which would be more helpful and will make me the surfer in this image. Well, that one failed. Let's try it again. This one looks so bad. It's an entirely different image. And a bad one. It's a bad one. At least it kind of looks like me. What about character swap? I've got this pretty simple image of my friend on a bench. Let's swap him out with this AI influencer. Oh dang, that actually kind of worked. I mean, it's a bit fuzzy, her teeth do look a little strange, and we are missing some of the bag cord, but that cord is a pretty complex thing for it to replicate, so I'm gonna give it a pass here. I think the main thing that's throwing me off and looks weird about this is that women don't normally sit like this, so it just feels pretty unnatural. It's a solid character swap though. Now for the last two, which are more geared towards artists and designers. First, we've got the Mockup Studio, which is basically a collection of presets for visualizing your designs in print. Imagine I just finished designing this poster in Photoshop. I didn't, this is AI, but imagine I did. It's pretty convenient that I can just drag and drop my design into the plugin and instantly generate a mockup of it as a subway flyer or a building wrap. This actually worked really well. The only issue with it that I found is that it retained this orange border on the flyer from the reference image, but other than that, this is a really nice, fast way to check what your designs would look like in the wild. Now for real-time AI drawing. This is the biggest promise, that AI will be able to convert my drawings in Photoshop while I'm working on them. Now I'm not an artist, so I apologize for what you're about to witness. We're going for a goldfish. Oh, it's drawing with me. That's cool, that's cool. There is a bit of a delay though, because it looks like it's actually generating images here. So real time is a stretch. It's more of like automatic with a slight delay. Here's the final image in cartoon style, and I can do way more like impressionist or cinematic. This is neat. I think these images look good. It totally understood the goldfish, and the result is way better than my sketch, if you can even call it a sketch. One thing I'm not clear on here though is credit usage. You can pause the real-time generation, but with it turned on, I have no idea how many credits this is burning. Does it only cost credits to download the generations, or is this just constantly charging me whenever I have real-time turned on? I have no idea. The images that it created also don't always seem to be saved somewhere. I say always because some of my generations were saved in the plugins image library, but the impressionist and cinematic goldfish images weren't, even though I downloaded those into Photoshop. And nothing is showing up in my browser-based Higgsfield image library, so I'm super confused at how all of this works. I think that this is a fun feature if you're an artist who likes to work in Photoshop, but the whole real-time thing, just turn it on and get a stylized generation after you're done with your artwork. And that is every tool on Higgsfield's Photoshop plugin tested. Let me know if any of these seemed super helpful for your workflow, and if you're more of a video person and you haven't seen Higgsfield's new plugin for DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro yet, you should check out this video right up over here. They've got a bunch of extra cool features that I think I like it even better than the Photoshop one.